Alright, so here will be a review of the 1/50th scale Oshkosh S-Series front charge mixer produced by TWH. And I have to say, I really haven't looked at these models much, but since they were on sale, I figured I'd pick one up, and I really wish I would have looked at them sooner because it's one hell of a model. There's a decent amount of plastic on the model, and that is surprising coming from TWH, but nonetheless, really doesn't take away from the model because you could barely tell it's plastic. Normally they run for $219. I got this one for $109. It was 50% off. They don't run the sale anymore, but for someone that likes truck models and even cement mixers, definitely worth the money. It's worth it than any other Conrad mixer that I have. So anyway, to start off, your chute on the front, it rotates and folds out. And what you could actually do is take other chutes, because they give you two extras, and you can extend, basically just extend them, and they attach by going one into another, just like the real things. And I'm scared of mine breaking, so I kind of be delicate. I'm kind of delicate with them. And as you can see, you could extend it. Not only does it extend, but you can raise it. Now I wish you could raise it higher, but I guess in person that would be high enough. But nonetheless, it's still really cool that you could add to the chute. Now, you can store them on the truck, and that's the only problem that I have with the model, and I'll get to that once I get to that part. But these are metal as well, and not only that, but you could see, but there's a little tiny cylinders. They could actually hold the chutes in position. So even just from looking at that, you can tell a lot was put into this model. And then you just turn it in. The cab, which is another one of my favorites, is extremely detailed. You can see all the bolt patterns. It's got the hitch in the front, a light, and all the warning decals, and all the light details. The tire in the front, which is biggest single tire on the front on the truck, it gives it a real mean look to it, as you could tell. It's one of my favorite on the trucks. And one thing that I want to get to, and it's a personal preference of mine, it's not a problem with the model, is I really don't like the other axles on it. Where I live, they generally just run two axles on the back. Rarely seen, I don't ever see a truck with this many axles. I've seen them in Ohio, but not where I live, so it's going to take a little bit getting used to. I'm thinking about taking these two axles off, but it would just throw the balance of the visual of the truck off because there's three more axles in the back. So it's going to take a little while to get used to. The truck has full suspension, which is awesome, as you could tell, and the tires are pretty detailed. I'm having a problem turning mine though. I don't know, it's probably just the model, but they really don't turn much. And I think that these could turn as well, but they don't turn at all. The only one that really turns a lot, and it's not really even a lot, it's a lot compared to what the others do, is the back one. And you can tell it really doesn't turn much at all. So it's really, as I said, it doesn't turn much, but compared to the other axles, it turns a lot. The actual drum, well, before I get to that, the finish with the cab, the left side, the driver's side, is most detailed. You can see it has the company name, Green and Gold Concrete Inc. I don't know where they're out of, but I have to say they have a very nice livery. I believe they're out of Wisconsin, and I chose this livery over around 10 others because it appealed to me most, and the gold, or it looks yellow to me, I'm just going to call it yellow. The yellow just looks really nice with the green. You can see it's got all the etched steps to get up into the cab, and it has simulated texture right there. To get up to the drum, it's got the ladder right here, And the odd thing is, and I don't understand why they did this, but to put your mirrors on, you just drop them in. Just like that, but then they could just fold. So I'm gonna look up pictures of the real truck and see the exact position that they're in and then glue them. Because I really don't like how they just, you know, they can move in any which way. In the back of the ladder, you got a hose to wash your chutes. And you also got one up top to wet the drum before you go to pour. And I'm going to have to raise up the camera because there's a lot of stuff up top. Now, up top is really nice. It's got etched walkways over here, and the railing over here is metal. Right here is able to raise and lower. The exact reason, I really don't know. I haven't even seen that on any mixers around here. I'm assuming it's when they load a hopper with it. Pretty sure about that. It's got cylinders to raise it as well right there. And turning, you can see on the chute, it's got this cloth so nothing splashes, and it'll go straight down the chute nice and slowly. Another mirror attaches right here, and this one really seems to just move everywhere. So I'm gonna have to glue that one as well. Now, here's the cool thing, and I actually didn't know it did this until I showed my brother, and I guess, I don't know how he knew, I guess he's seen reviews of this truck. Now, I knew as far as that you could put the chutes in here, and there's a certain way you gotta put the chutes. You gotta put the last one in first, naturally, and then second to last one in. And, or is it the other way around? It's a little confusing at first. Alright, it's like that. Now, they're gonna fall out, but that's how you put them in. And they gave me this little rubber band thing, and I seen this pin here first, and I didn't know what it was for. And he actually told me, you use this little rubber band, which looks like a bungee cord, and you basically just put them in there, and it'll hold them in. It's extremely hard to do, so you gotta put the open end in like that, so it won't just fall right out. And it works perfect. The bungee is a little long, but it'll work. It'll work perfect. And it honestly, it's gonna take so long for me to put them in there because it's a pain to do. So I'm not even gonna do it in the review. The drum, unfortunately, is plastic. If it really matters to anyone, it doesn't matter to me. I don't know if it matters to anyone else, but the drum's plastic, and but it's hollow. So that's also really nice. The black stripe you see there is so it can roll on the rubber rollers on the inside, and yes, they are rubber. I wish they would have painted these pins, but you know, can't really ask for everything. Got an air tank in there and some lines running to it. I don't know if that's an air tank. That might be a water tank, and those might be air tanks. I really don't know, honestly. The fenders on the truck are exactly the same on the other side as well. You can see nice detail, nice bolt detail, and if you look underneath, you could see the suspension. You can see it move, pin moves. Back of the truck, and coming to my favorite part, which is the hood. And you can see it's even got the US DOT number. Now, here's my favorite part. This is plastic right here, but what's cool about it is it'll fold up, and it's spring loaded, so you have to put a little pressure on to bring it down, and it clips in right there. But what it reveals is the engine, and the engine is just completely awesome. I love the detail on it. It's probably one of the reasons why this is the most detailed model that I own at this juncture of all junctures. It's just extremely detailed. It's got hoses running everywhere. The exhaust stack is metal. The motors for the drums are metal. I don't know why they didn't make the hood metal, I guess because it would just fall down because of the weight. But there's the engine. It's got a tank right here. And what's even nicer about the hood is, even though it is plastic, it is etched through. Etched through really nice. And it's got a hitch on the back. And here's the other side of it. You can see more detail of it. Now, something that I normally don't do, but because of this model is so detailed, I will do it, and I'll show the underside of it. Here's the underside of the model. Just really detailed. It's got all the drive shafts and everything. Just really just such a nice model. Definitely worth the money. So now that you've seen the model, I'm sure you have your own views on it and everything. I, for one, like the model a lot. Again, I'm not really a concrete or truck guy, but this model definitely appeals to me because it's just so detailed and it's so well made. Another thing about it is a lot of plastic models don't appeal to some people. Obviously, it's not all plastic. This model definitely appeals to me. I'm glad that I have another one coming because it's one of those models where you can't just have one of them. So I'm definitely glad that I have another one of them coming. Now you could tell I'm adding the extra chutes in because this review is actually shorter than I thought. You can see it's a pain to do it. Now I feel the model is overpriced, but then I also feel that it's not overpriced, and I'm only saying it's overpriced mainly because you don't see me buy too many truck models. For $219, I could go spend that money on a crane or something. But if you're specifically into cement models or truck models, it's definitely the model for you because it's probably one of the nicest truck models that I own at this juncture. Well worth the money. I was requested to do this review already, and here it is. Nicest truck model I own at this point. I don't think anything will beat it that I own at this juncture. So here I'm just showing you how difficult it is to do this. If you don't have a lot of patience, then good luck. How I did it before was I added the first one and then clipped it because there's not enough room. You gotta basically just keep it tensioned. And there it is with the chutes. Chutes are a little big for it. One thing I wish they would have did was put the chutes on the fenders, but nonetheless it looks cool there. Great model. Retails for $219. Again, personally, I feel it's overpriced, but that's because I would put the money towards other models. But if you're into truck models, definitely worth it. There it is. Goodbye at most model retailers. The TWH Oshkosh front discharge mixer.